to the GFC Member Connect tutorial. GFC Member Connect is a web-based application that brings information and communication and a sense of community into one place. Through this application, each member can find that phone number of the person they met a few weeks prior, find a name, address, email, and that's really just the beginning. Gone are the days of having to call around to find that vital, often time-sensitive information. This system has been implemented a few years now, and I find that most people don't really know what the abilities of the system are or if they should even attempt to use it. This tutorial will show you how to get to the login page, how to get a login, and then logging in. We will also cover accessing and editing your own information or profile, searching for people and groups, and some other cool things along the way. So let's get started. First, you want to make your way to gracefamilychurch.net, and it'll bring you to this page that you're seeing here. Once you've made it to www.gracefamilychurch.net, you want to go to the Connect tab, which is right here. I'm going to click on the Connect tab. And then just below that, the last option, and this may change as the website changes, but more or less it's going to be under that Connect. And then you want to click GFC Member Connect powered by CCB. After clicking that, it'll bring you to the landing page for CCB essentially. So this is our Member Connect area. The stuff on the right here may change from time to time, but on this page here you can find forms, and if I click on forms, there's a child dedication request, Connect card online, and then the mailing list website. So if people want to get on our mailing list, they can come and check off that form there. Let's just click on the Connect card online, and that'll basically show you the same card that we fill out in the sanctuary is available online for anyone who visits this site here. So name, phone number, notes, how did you hear about Grace Family, what service did you attend, and so on. And we may link this for our online church community when we are actually webcasting and web streaming our services again. So that's just an example of one of the forms that we have. Now let's see if I can get out of this. Okay. There's also finding a group to join. And basically this is going to be any group that is offered at Grace Family Church, and we encourage those who are having events through Grace Family, whether it's women's ministry, men's ministry, youth, worship team, all those type of things. Any event that happens within Grace Family, or if it's just a Bible study or a prayer group, any opportunity where people are coming together for something, that they make sure they schedule it in CCB. And so leaders, I will do a different tutorial for you to create those events and those type of things in CCB. So, but right here you can do the area of town if a group is happening. You can see it's a little bit customized, so you can see Austintown, Boardman, Canfield, Youngstown, Poland. The meeting day of the week, the department. Maybe you just want to see anything that's happening for Grace Kids. You can click there. If childcare is available, so if there's a women's group and there's childcare available, it'll say so in that group that's listed. As soon as you check that off and you search, it will filter out any of the groups that don't have childcare. So this is a really cool tool. Now you can see some of the groups that are automatically showing are fantasy football, worship team, Grace Kids, Men of Grace, prayer intercession, relentless youth ministry, and so on. Let's go back. And I think there's one other, I just can't tell at the moment. Yeah, there's calendar. So I'm stretching this out a little bit from what you can see, but you'll get the gist here. And you can also click that calendar. That's all information available that you don't have to log in for, okay? So now let's go back, our actual login. Right here, you can sign up. If you've never logged in before, you can sign up. Now, what makes this secure is that anyone who signs up has to get approved, and essentially, most likely it'll be me approving them. But basically, we have to know you to get a login. So once you go through the sign up process, you can click that there. Name, last name, email address, contact phone number, and submit. Okay, and that's all you have to do. And then you have to wait to get approved. Okay, so that may take an extra day or something like that, but you will get approved if we know you. Okay, so I'm going to go, and if you forgot your password, you can click forgot my username or password. Again, that may come to me and I may have to reset it for you. But I'm going to enter my username, not your username, my username. Okay, and then I'm going to enter my password. And I'm going to log in. Okay, you'll once you get into the system here, you'll see a landing page. Now, since I'm an administrator of the account, I may have some more features that may not be available to you, but the general look will be the same. There's an announcement here from Church Community Builder letting us know that they're going to be closed on New Year's Day. On the right-hand side are the groups that you're a part of, and you may have joined already. So for quick access, you can get to those. On the left-hand side, you have your home icon, which just takes you basically to your landing page. Then you have the groups icon, and this just shows all the groups that you're a part of. I don't think it shows the groups that you're not a part of, but you may be able to search for them here in this search bar. So I can type in, what's one at the bottom, weekend services. Our weekend services group is the one we use for our entire database. So you have to get added to that group or join that group, or else you're not going to get any of our church-wide communications. Also, if you ever have trouble getting church-wide communications, I recommend two things. One, check your spam folder, and two, check to see if your communication settings are set up in a certain way, whereas only the head of household will get the information, or one person in the family might get the information. Sometimes, if we didn't send it out right, only one person from your family might get that information. So just want to check your communication preferences, or let someone know that you're not receiving those emails. So WEEK weekend services, and you see how that just automatically shows up there, and I can click that. Or you can discover a new group on the right hand side. The next tab, that's groups. This one is the calendars. So that's just another way to see the calendars, church-wide information that's going on there. Okay. Now messages. You're able to communicate with different people throughout the system. And so if you'd like to send a message to someone, you can do that here. I have messages from my groups. So the groups I'm a part of, all the messages that I've received from those groups will show up here. Church-wide messages, if we send out a church-wide communication, those messages should show up there. And then my messages in general, I think, are the ones that you have sent out. And the last one is people search. So for the sake of keeping most information confidential here, I will use Aiden, but you can search for others. And let me say before we go in here that if there's information that you don't want to be available, like your phone number or your address, your financial information is not available to anyone except for those already pre-assigned to have access to that. But anyone else in the system may be able to see your address, may be able to see your phone number, and maybe that information you want to keep to yourself. You'll be able to go in and set your settings to keep that information private. So I'm going to use my son's profile. I'm going to search Aiden Berg. And see, as I hover over his name, it um, adds pre-selects people that it thinks you may be looking for, which is kind of nice because if you forgot the name of that person that you just met last Sunday, maybe you don't know the last name, but you know you got the first name, Aiden. So as you type in Aiden, it starts to give me their last name or somebody who it might be. Okay, and then if I hover on the right hand side, it'll show me Aiden's information here. So I'm going to select Aiden. Now here, if I added a photo, which you can certainly do by editing your profile, you can do a family photo or an individual photo. That's kind of helpful because if we ever want to print a church directory, the photos are kind of already there. And if we ever need to do that, it's kind of nice to put a face with a name. So I encourage everyone to, add a photo, any information that you can to that would be great. So right now he has no activity. Family information here, any notes that I may have added or other people may have added to his profile. General information, we have birthday, other family members. What's cool with this software is that you can add the school that you went to. If you remember the military, you can add spiritual gifts. Passions, abilities, personal style, and those are all really helpful, especially for us because as church, as we look at the different needs of the church, we don't have to sit around and say, "Ooh, who do we know who might have this or this specific gifting could help out in this ministry, or has a passion for a particular item that we're discussing or has come up, or something that we want to do." What's great with all this stuff filled out is we can search our database for those parameters, and it will kick back your name if you have that selected or if that information is pertinent to you. So I encourage people to fill out the MyFit section, which we'll get to as well. Let's see, membership. You can enter if you were baptized, when you joined. You can tell us the reason why you left your church previously if you attended a different church. Let's see, what else here? You can tell us how you heard about us, about the church. Here is where you can find out if you're approved to start child work, because we'll actually be able to do the background checks, and that information will be in here. Actually, it'll be under a PMM report. Any alerts for your family that we need to put in, that's all information here. You have involvement, so we can see, what groups you're a part of, what ministries you're attending, and if you're not really active in anything, that's important to know as well, because we believe that a healthy church has members that are active in ministry in some fashion, whether it's once a month or every week, that you're busy about building up the body of Christ, not to just what I know Pastor used to say, to sit, soak, and sour. Some Christians want to sit, soak, and sour. Well, God has not called us to do that. God has called us to go out and to build the kingdom, and so we want to have a part in that. And that's just not just giving financially, and there are a lot of people who like to give financially, and that's also a blessing, but that's not the only way. Some people like to say, "Well, I give, and that's what I do." No, that's a part of it, but that's not the only thing, because I think we're all called to give, but we're also all called to serve in some capacity. It may not be a thing for you to give financially, so maybe God's calling you to serve somewhere where it costs you time versus money, or it costs you something different, or you have to sacrifice in a way that may not come as easily to you as it may come to others. So that's just kind of helpful here to know, where you're at, what you're involved in a way for us to see, is the church healthy? Are we heading in the right direction? What percentage of people are actually engaged? So there are different things there, like positions, process cues that you don't really need to know about. Attendance, serving, forms. You may have some of this stuff. You may have access to, you may not. Financial, that's a great place here. Now, obviously, Aiden doesn't have anything because it's all under my stuff. So, um, but what's great about the financial tab is that you have access and the ability to see in real time, or pretty close to real time, where you're at in giving. And I find that even for myself, sometimes it's easy to lose track about where you're at in your giving, whether it's to missions or to a capital campaign or building fund or those or just general tithing. It's easy to log into my profile and get a record right here. I can see printable statements, giving statement, and then I can get a pledge statement, what I actually pledged to give this year. Now, giving statements are automatically put into our system when the offering is processed. Um, but pledge statements, I don't think we're actively doing those right now. However, if you want to, you can add your own pledge statement, as I've done for the building fund. That way, as I am giving, I can see that balance of my pledge statement is going down each time I give. And it's just kind of nice to see that as kind of a reward. Oh, okay, we're making progress and that number is getting smaller and smaller. So it's just really nice to have there. So you can see your family's giving record, and from that page as well. So that's really kind of neat. What's also nice is that you don't have to wait around if you want to get your taxes done come January the 5th. You can come in here, and as long as everything is up to date according to what you think it should be, you can print it off, and it'll be the official paper that you can take to your tax preparation person and get your giving credit that way as well. And then you can also put serving ability. You can say dates I'm unavailable or I'm willing to serve twice a month through this option here. Okay, now those cover all the tabs. Now I'm going to go to the right-hand side, and now here's where you can edit that. So let's go just through some of the actions here. I'm not sure if these actions will show up for you, but I might as well point them out just in case they do. You can send an email, add to a group, remove from a group, add to process queue. I don't think you can do that, but you can add to my friends list. You can make a circle essentially of people that you're connected to. And we're going to go to edit profile. And this is where all the cool stuff happens. So for each member of your family, you can add all this information. Marital status is kind of nice to have. Anniversaries are nice because sometimes we may want to print out a list. Hey, whose anniversary is this month? Let's bless someone with just something for their anniversary, or whose birthday is it, and those type of things. And birthdays are great for kids because it helps us in our check-in system. So those are definitely important. And it may be nice for adults too for other reasons. Allergies, that kind of stuff. All right, so double check, make sure your address is correct. I know this is wrong here for me because we haven't lived at that address in probably 2 years. So it didn't switch even though my address has changed. My child's address did not change for whatever reason. So I'm going to change that for 29 J-A-R-T-E. And we are 44512. And I'm just going to go to the next. I could hit save now if I wanted to, but I know it'll save at the end. So my fit. Here you can put spiritual gifts. I know that some of my spiritual gifts are administration, so I would check off that one. There may be some other ones here: encouragement, hospitality, leadership, and I think they're moving. They're not staying lit. Let's see. To select or deselect multiple choices. There you go. Hold down the following keys when clicking. So on a Mac, you want to hold down Command and then click. If you're on a Windows machine, you want to hit Control and click. So I'm going to go back up. I'm going to hit Administration as my first one. Then I'm going to hit Creative Communication because that's kind of what I'm doing right now. So I'm holding down my Command key on a Mac. Encouragement, I'm holding down my Command key and selecting. I'm going to say hospitality and knowledge, leadership, and let's go with teaching because I'm doing that as well. Okay, so now I have all those selected. I want to do the same thing if I want to go under people or passion. So I'm passionate about children, youth, teen moms, single parents, college, divorce, widows. There's a whole list of things. And if there's something you're passionate about, it's not in the list, let us know and we'll add it later. There's issues, injustice, hunger, poverty, politics. I find it interesting that politics is right before church. So, anyway, um, abilities, your professional abilities, landscaping, windows, those are all really nice because when we have a drama or something or a need in the church, maybe something needs to get fixed, we can search through here and say, hey, these are the people that are available with these skill sets who can bless the body. So we need to know about those abilities. So fill those in. And then you can choose a personal style. If you're a task unstructured or task structured person, maybe you like to just go down the list and check them off and have everything has a system and a process to it. Well, there's certain ministries or things that need done in church or maybe connected to church somehow that would fit that. And you can say, hey, I'm that type of person. So let's say we need all the bulletins. If we had bulletins back in the day, we had bulletins. If all those need to be folded and stuffed and that kind of thing, a structured person would probably handle that really well. An unstructured person may not, and they may mess up the order of the bulletin. So, and we know that we can send them on a task by themselves, and they're going to enjoy the peace and quiet and just getting the task done. Versus a people unstructured or people structured person, which I could be both of those at times. I definitely like to work with a group of people, and at times I like it structured, and then sometimes I like it unstructured. So that would be that. So you can select that as your style, and then just hit save, whatever those type of things. But since that's Aiden's profile, let me unselect. There we go. And by unselecting, just in case you want to know what I did, all those were checked, and I just clicked it once, so now only one is highlighted. Then I hit Command and clicked it again, and now it's unhighlighted. Okay, and then we're going to hit Save. Okay, so that's editing your profile. Now, the next step would be to set your communication preferences. Okay, this area here is where you will find your communication settings. Okay, so in communication preferences, you basically want to tell the system how you want to be communicated and from whom you want to be communicated from and how often. So in the first column, it says, send me emails from group participants. Receive group communications like emails from the group leader, event invitations, and other information about volunteering and helping those in need. And so they recommend that you keep both of those on. And so Aiden is in this group here that says entire church group and Grace Kids. So any of those groups that you think that you're involved in that you would like to have this communication applied to, you want to make sure that that's checked marked. The next section says send comments to me immediately. Participate in online conversation as they happen. That's optional. You may not want to hear from everybody's response. Depending on the type of group you're in, you may want to. So you just decide which one of those you want. And then it says send me weekly summary of group activities. Maybe you don't want all the interchange of comments and things immediately as they're happening. So you can choose to get a weekly update and see what has happened in that group, and say on Friday you want to check in and see what's happened. You could do it all in one lump sum as well. The last section is pretty important. It says send me text messages from group leaders, and in that you want to select your mobile carrier, and all of them are listed here. And then you want to enter the cell phone number, and then you can click each one of those categories that you think it's appropriate to. And then you can do a future group basically template, so that you don't have to go in each time you're added to a group and set these communication preferences. So I would recommend going through, and it says use group default or send to me, do not send to me. You can check those off, how you feel like you want them to be added. And those only apply to future groups that you have not joined yet but may join in the future. And then we have general church communication, which we recommend that be checked off. And then an email address. This says if you do not want to receive any more emails from us, you can permanently remove your email from our database. And we only recommend that to people who are just don't want any communication from us in the future, have, for lack of a better word, severed all ties and just kind of moving on. So we typically don't like to do that if we don't have to. We'd like to keep, even if you're away, keep you still in the loop. And so those are communication preferences. Let's see, is there anything else here when you go over? You can change your username and password on the right-hand side, and you can also update your privacy. So in order to make our online community as vibrant and helpful as possible, please strongly consider sharing most items with everybody or at the highest level you are comfortable sharing. No items will be shared if the profile is not listed. So it gives you the definitions of what those options are and how they're applied. So, and then at the bottom here you have listed, unlisted. And you can choose to share your birthday, gender, marital status, all of those things with whom you feel most comfortable sharing those with. That concludes this tutorial for GFC Member Connect General Overview. I hope this has been a blessing and a helpful video for you to learn some of the ins and outs of this Member Connect area.